my logical mind can override my emotional mind. For example, believe it or not, avoidant people get broken up with too, especially with my second boyfriend. He was cruel in how he broke up with me, but I handled that breakup like a boss, boss, man. Hey guys, welcome back to Confessions of an Avoidant. My name is Wando, and in this video, I want to talk about some positive things about avoidant attachment. I feel like the internet is constantly vilifying us. At the end of the day, I always like to think of attachment styles like superpowers. We developed our attachment styles in our stressful childhoods, maybe our neglectful or abusive upbringings, and we developed these attachment patterns that helped keep us safe at the end of the day. And we became so powerful at these attachment patterns that they ultimately came with some fatal flaw in our adulthood, kind of like our Achilles heel, which is why I like to think of it like superpowers, like a superhero, because every superhero at the end of the movie, there's like some villain that like almost kills them. And then of course they don't die. And then there's a sequel and then another sequel and then another sequel and then a remake 20 years later. But yeah, anyway, that's just my friendly reminder that, attachment styles come with a lot of positives. They're not all doom and gloom. So in this video, I want to talk about the things that I like most about being avoidant, the things that are really awesome about it. And if you have a different attachment style, or if you're an avoidant person too, you can write in the comments things that you like about your attachment style, because I think it's so important not to just exist in this shame that we can feel sometimes when we have an insecure attachment style and what's wrong with us and how we've screwed up our lives, blah, 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 blah. I don't like to live like that. Okay, so these positives that I want to talk about, I'm actually going to be referencing a list of positives from an article from attachmentproject.com and just talk about some of the ones that I agree with and I think are awesome. Now, of course, all attachment styles are on a spectrum. They're nuanced. So everything on this list isn't necessarily going to apply to every single avoidant. Okay, so the first one is that avoidance can be friendly to new acquaintances. This is one that I feel I relate to a lot. I am a big fawner, and I think this comes from my need to make people immediately feel disarmed by me or not see me as a threat and see me as a nice, harmless girl. And I know that comes from my upbringing. I had very neglectful parents, and one of them was very inconsistent in their mood. And it was like walking in a landmine zone every single day. Like you don't know when you're going to set this person off. You don't know when this person is going to be set off and blame it on you, essentially. So I feel like I'm very good at just avoiding. And when I can't avoid, I fawn, which isn't always a positive thing. I've realized a lot of the negative things in my life are a result of me fawning. But I do think that when you are so focused on making sure that somebody else isn't mean to you or somebody feels disarmed by you, you can make a good impression on new acquaintances, or they can feel like you are harmless or that you're nice or that you're chill or whatever. So I think that's one of my favorite things about being an avoidant person. And again, this list doesn't represent all avoidance, but this is something on the list that definitely applies to myself. Another positive is we won't pester our friends for their time. I really like this about being an avoidant. I will say though, it's a blessing and a curse, but let's talk about the blessing first. I think one of the great things about being an avoidant person is that we can often have this like laissez-faire, do what you want, be your own person, occupy your own zone, your own lane. I don't need to, merge in there. I don't need to get in there. I don't need to like blend myself with you. I don't need to, give you unsolicited advice or be an overbearing person or like really demand anything of you, because being around other people and needing their time and stuff, it can be foreign to us. And again, this isn't to say that all avoidants are like this. Everything's a spectrum. This isn't to say that all people who are anxiously attached are not like this. There's plenty of anxiously attached people who give people their space and don't demand their time and stuff like that. But yeah, just sticking to this list from attachmentproject.com, this is something that I definitely relate to. I like to think that I'm a supportive person in people's individuality and that I don't pass judgment. I know some judgmental avoidance though, but I like to think I'm not that way. I like to be an encouraging person of people being who they are and doing their own thing and using their time in the way that works for them. Now, here's where it's a curse. It can be lonely. And I feel like even when I just have like a platonic friendship with somebody, I have this deep-seated fear that they don't want to hang out with me or spend time with me. I struggle so much to be the one to invite my friends to do something or make a plan with them. A lot of times my friends will be the one who does that first. So that's where I do feel like it's a curse, because I can be so wired to be like, oh, I don't want to bother them. But overall, I think it's nice. Third, won't require their friends to disclose their emotions. This is another one where I feel like it can be a blessing and a curse. I feel like it's a blessing and I like it because I don't like making people uncomfortable. I don't like making people feel like they have to do something or feeling like they're getting pressure from me at all to ever have to share something that they're not ready to share or they don't feel comfortable talking about yet. Like, I'm always down to hear the gossip, but I'm never going to be like, oh my God, tell me what happened. Like, I just always want people to feel like I'm harmless and like I'm safe. And again, that's not to say that all avoidants are this way. I've lived with a lot of them. They're not. But just reacting to this list, this is one of the things on this list that I relate to. But yeah, where I do think that this is a curse is, again, just like my previous point, sometimes I wish as a friend I could take a bit more initiative to maybe have deeper conversations or maybe trust in friends more with my emotions or what's going on in my life. Because I feel like it's like both of those things happening at the same time. I don't require too much because I could give more. I could be more trusting. I could kind of volunteer myself first to be more emotional or be more forthcoming. So blessing and a curse, but let's keep it positive. I like knowing that my friends don't ever feel pressured or judgment from me. Another one is that we lead with logic and not our emotions. I don't think that's always the case, of course. But I do think that there are so many areas of life where my logical mind can override my emotional mind. For example, believe it or not, avoidant people get broken up with too. And I've been broken up with before, numerous times. And one of the things that I really like about being an avoidant person is I feel like I'm really good at accepting when someone doesn't want to be in a relationship with me anymore or doesn't want to be my friend anymore. Like, even if I'm very emotional about it to myself or in my bedroom or while I'm watching Pride and Prejudice for the 800th millionth time, I'm not using my energy to try to like get through to them or contact them or try to change their mind or anything like that. I always have a saying that I live by, which is, I don't want to be with anybody who doesn't want to be with me. That goes for friendship as well. Like, I've had friendship breakups where I felt like, and this happened recently, where I felt like I had a friend who was manipulative in some way, or they were constantly giving me unsolicited advice or being passive aggressive or like insidiously trying to embarrass me in front of others. And I think it's hard when you have to have a friendship breakup, because sometimes you can feel even safer with your friends than your romantic partners or your family members. And it sucks to break up with friends. But again, I feel like I can be really good at having my logical mind just accept that my friend has a certain pattern that isn't serving me. It's not safe for me. And it's a conditional friendship where they need to feel superior to me in order for the friendship to thrive or keep order of things. And I'm very good at just logically removing myself from dynamics like that when I see them playing out. I think it's a bit of a myth that we don't have emotions and that we are never emotional. But I do think that sometimes there are situations in life where we can use our logical mind to kind of survive a situation and like move on from it, maybe faster than other attachment styles. And that's something that I love about being avoidant, especially with my second boyfriend. I mean, maybe I'll get into the details of that breakup in another video, but the way he broke up with me and specifically what he did and things that happened towards the end of our relationship, I was completely blindsided. And he was cruel in how he broke up with me and things he did. And I'm not ready to share that story, but I felt like I handled that breakup like a boss, boss, man. Like I was so in my logical mind of like, F him. Like, I don't want to be with him. He doesn't want to be with me. I don't want to be with him. Even though I was like sad and I was really hurt, my logical mind was like, this person doesn't want to be with you. And he just did a horrible thing to you and flaunted his horrible thing in your face and in front of all of your friends and all this crap. You don't want to be with this person. You don't want to spend another minute believing that maybe you could get back together or anything like that. So that is something that I love about sometimes being able to have my logical mind outpower and outstrength my emotional mind. Okay, and I just want to read a few that I personally don't relate to, but I've seen some other avoidants who relate to these things, and I have a theory. So they are ability to be sociable and popular, confident in what they can offer others, and can be the life and the soul of the party. Some of these I can relate to a little bit, but like I don't feel popular too much ever, except for like 1 year of college maybe. Can be can be the life and soul of the party. Don't relate to this at all. But my theory about the ones who do relate to this is I think some avoidants are really good at being social and connecting with people when it's not that deep, when it's not, the requirements of a relationship that's in a commitment stage or power struggle phase or something deeper than that, where more of yourself is required. You have more accountability and responsibility over somebody else's time, how they're using their quality time, where they want to use it with you. They want to spend time with you. They want to make plans with you. When things are just these social settings, being at parties, being part of social groups and stuff, some avoidants can thrive because it's fun. My last boyfriend was like that. He had the most active social life. One of my parents is like that. It's funny because we would go to holiday parties and this particular parent of mine would be like the most gregarious person, the life of the party. Everyone would love this parent, and at home they wanted nothing to do with us. Funny that. So, I think it's interesting how some avoidants, they feel at ease when it's kind of lighthearted and just fun and social. But when it's deeper, they can't take the heat. I just wanted to react to that article, some of the positives about being an avoidant person. Again, feel free to leave positives that you like about your own attachment style in the comments. Let's make this a year where we're not sitting around shaming ourselves about our insecure attachment style or our attachment trauma. shall we? If you like this video, please give it a like. Thank you so much, because that helps my channel so much. You have no idea. It helps YouTube push my videos out to more and more people. So I really appreciate that. And I will see you guys in the next video.